Okay, hey, so we're gonna go over one critical feature of the mat function with the headboard function, okay? So there's some box feature functions, there's some headboard only feature functions. This is one that requires both, okay? This is actually how the product was birthed. This is where everything came out of, okay? And it has to do with alleviating tension in what's called the posterior chain, okay? And the lower back, and this was huge for me at some point in my life. So let's go over it. So basically what I did was I took, it's called TheraBand, okay? We are not necessarily going to be using these or plan to be using these with the product. We might use super bands, we might also add functionality for TheraBands, but let me show you, it'll make sense when I show you. So what I did was I tied this around, there's slats here, okay? You tie this around here, and you double knot it. Okay. Boom. And now it's nice and tight. And we're gonna move it into the center where your head is gonna be. Okay, right there. Now, I'm gonna lie down. I'm gonna show you how this works. So you lie down, you can have one or two pillows, right? So you don't want to be completely flat, although you could be, right? Which is why I have a slant board headrest on the mat. Here, what you want to do is, all right, let's try that again. Right there, okay? So why is this good? I'm getting a passive stretch. I don't have to use a yoga strap to bring my leg back, okay? My other leg here is going to be straight. That's why we have the straps on the mat you slip your leg under, and that keeps the knee down. If you're really tight, what happens is this, okay? This is what happens to most people. Their leg comes up. If you put this down, you get a better stretch, okay? But it's hard to keep your leg down sometimes. There's another feature where you can hold this here, and what that does is it changes the way you experience it in your back. And then there's yet another feature here, I call it a tournage, okay? Where, because it's like a twist, and you're getting even more of a stretch, and then you can go even here. Now sometimes what happens is this will skip this way because some of the forces will cause it to do that. So let's say, for example, I want to go wide leg here. I don't want to do it because it might snap, but this thing will skip over, and instead of being locked here, it'll be locked here. So what we need is some way to account for this lateral skipping, right? We want to be able to lock it in, and I have a solution for that, and I'm going to show you. You want to have the choice where you're going to put this. So maybe you want it more, for your left foot, you want it here, right? So you could do the same thing there. Or maybe you want it, left foot goes contralateral here, okay? There are benefits to that, okay? Working on the IT band, okay? So having different choices of what, this is like the frontal plane, of having different choices where it's gonna line up on the frontal plane are important, all right? So that's a major feature of this product. I hope that helps explain it. Okay, so one more thing about the TheraBand versus Superband debate, how it's going to work and how that's going to go. So the TheraBand, as you saw, is very broad, so you can put your heel in it, and that's great. That's the advantage. The disadvantage is you have to it doesn't loop. This is a loop. This is a closed loop. The TheraBand you have to tie yourself. We don't want that. Okay, so we want necessarily. Okay, that we want. Maybe that's an option, but so how would you do it with this? Well, the way you do it with this is, again, we have the slats. You put it in here. Let's say this is a bar, right? Like a steel bar or whatever the bar. Here, you tie it in there. You run it behind. Okay, up. There, and now you have this here. Now, as I pointed out, this does not have a nice, convenient, broad surface for your heel. If you try to do it with this, it's not going to be fun. So I'm proposing that we devise a little strap, like a little Velcro type thing that basically is just a heel catch, okay? And you Velcro that on here, or you tie it on here, whatever it is, and then you put your heel in the heel strap, okay? And then so now you have it. And so the different bars will work as such, like let's say this is on this bar and then it's looping over to here, but you also have the option to loop it all the way up top here. Or you have the option to start lower and then loop it all the way up top, or start lower and loop it through here. So it's kind of like, there's a question, we never talked about this, but there's a question about how many slats do we want to have? How many bars do we want to have? And if maybe we want to have those bars be interchangeable, in other words, you sort of like click a bar in and you can like click it out and bring it up here, and maybe the product comes with 2 bars, so you can always like, you know, have some version of that. You know, you can do lowest bar, fixed to lowest bar, and then going all the way up to highest, or fixed to lowest bar and coming to middle. And this way you just adjust the bars where you need them. So in that way, we would have some sort of like trenches here where it's hard to explain, but ways to snap the bar in and out like that, maybe through the back or something like that. Anyway, that's that. I hope that makes some sense, or gives you an intro into what's going on with this strap and the bars and the heel and all that stuff.